Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Alberta News and Views. You have got to check this out. Mark Carney is making all the headlines today because of his appearance on the Jon Stewart Show. He's claiming to be an outsider. Mark Carney, the ultra elite globalist, is claiming to be an outsider with this liberal leadership race, his bid to be Canada's next prime minister. The central banking aristocratic globalist who is advising Trudeau's economic policy and has a wife who works for Gerald Butts and the Eurasia Group claims to be an outsider. He is the godfather of Chrystia Freeland's son, one of her sons. Mark Carney, North Ferratu, needs to be dragged into the daylight. Check this out, and there's more.
A wild hypothetical. Let's say the candidate wasn't part of the government. Let's say the candidate did have a lot of economic experience. Let's say the candidate did deal with crises. Let's say the candidate had a plan to deal with the challenges in the here and now.
Sneaky, you're running as an outsider.
I am an outsider.
Look at those fangs. He's out for blood. Mark Carney is just another typical liberal. He is Justin Trudeau, and I will show you. He is all full of lies and gaslighting. Oh, how short the memory is for people. Deceitful liberals dodging Carney ethics oversight with party appointment, conservatives say. By reporting to the party instead of a government entity, Mark Carney will not have to face any scrutiny over his many roles in the private sector as any other public servant would. He is an insider. He still has all of his tentacles and all of his business dealings, and he could end up being the next Prime Minister of Canada. Unelected too, by the way. As Mark Carney takes up Prime Minister advisor job, his company solicits Ottawa for $10 billion. Due to an unusual hiring arrangement, Mark Carney is shielded from the usual ethics disclosures required of prime ministerial advisors. Oh, what a coincidence. Right when he goes in to the advisory position, they solicit $10 billion. It is unbelievable. He doesn't even consider himself a Canadian. He considers himself a European because he spends all of his time in Europe.
Mark, you look like you were about to.
Yeah, it was a tell.
As a European, as a
European, I am a European, actually.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
Oh.
Irish citizen. Yeah, so there you
welcome.
go.
Welcome.
Speaking as a European, I like to say following.
He will be and do whatever it takes to get the job done for his many, 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 many super ultra elite bloodthirsty buddies. Look at the backdrop. He is part of the World Economic Forum. Come on, people, wake up. Mark Carney just wrote his own attack ad. His ads are already out, and I come upon them a few days ago, but they are taken down. Now they're back up. His slogan is Carney for Canadians, Carney for Canada, something like that. The millionaire governor of two central banks, an Oxford and Harvard-educated in-law of hereditary peer Lord Rotherwick, is using Trudeau's closest advisors to help him win the Liberal leadership. All of these people, all these super elites, they go to school in the States, they all live in Europe, but when the time comes, when it's convenient, oh, they're Canadian. This guy is going to be like, oh, I come from grassroots, I'm from Alberta. They always say that, but yet they have zero attachment to the best province in Canada. It is unbelievable. Let's start from the top. Here he is with then Prince Charles, now King Charles III. They've met multiple times, not much more insider than the king. Seriously, he is not an outsider. He is gaslighting you. Don't believe any of that bullshit. He also got to know Queen Elizabeth too quite well. Wow. How? Seriously. He's not an outsider. Look at that. Fangs everywhere. How about his good friend, Mike Bloomberg? He's worth more than $96 billion, according to Forbes. Mike made Carney chairman of his board. They both like lavish parties and fighting climate change. But how rich is Mark Carney? Hard to say. Multimillionaire for sure. Billionaire? Got to be close. His salary as Bank of England's governor was over $1.5 million Canadian a year, plus benefits and housing allowance. He probably banked it all. He even made $1,000 renting out his Canada home while living in the UK, and a lot of the other politicians do this exact same practice. He's an insider, and he's a billionaire. Give me a break. According to the public record, the rockstar banker took home $879,000, I guess that'd be pounds or whatever, in 2016. His total benefits that year measured at $252,000 and $5,000 a week housing allowance, according to The Sun. As part of his relocation plan, Carney is allowed $250,000 a year in housing allowance. Carney lives in a plush West London home, which he recently bought for his wife and 4 children for an estimated $3 million. The house has impressive 6 bedrooms, a designer kitchen, and a home gym as well. Such an outsider. Other reports also stated that Carney's Canadian home gets him a weekly $1,000. That doesn't even get into his other board appointments or his time with Brookfield. He's likely richer than Trudeau. Fuck yeah, he is. But mind you, Carney actually had to work for his money. He has been the chair and the head of impact investing at Brookfield Asset Management since 2020. In August 2023, Carney was named by Michael Bloomberg as chair of the new board of directors for Bloomberg LP as part of a broader reshuffle of the company's leadership. He was the chair of the Financial Stability Board from 2011 to 2018. Prior to his governorship, Carney worked at Goldman Sachs as well as the Department of Finance Canada. He also serves as a UN Special Envoy for Climate Action and Finance. A member of the Liberal Party, Carney is expected to be a candidate in the 2025 leadership election. As mentioned above, Carney's brother-in-law sits in the House of Lords as a Tory. As you know, most outsiders have hereditary peers as family. Much of Mark's UK connectedness is through his wife, Diana, who he met at Oxford Low-End University on par with Carleton. Diana Carney is the real activist in the family, described as a hippie. She is linked to all sorts of global environment causes. She also had a tough time finding a home in London. Boo-hoo. Presently, Diana Carney works for Eurasia Group in Ottawa. Who else works for Eurasia Group in Ottawa? If you guessed Trudeau's best friend, Jerry Butts, you get a prize. And don't you ever forget that Eurasia is funneling and laundering taxpayer dollars through the Green Slush Fund. The Carneys run in celebrity circles here in the UK and around the world. Here they are at Wimbledon with Jude Law. Such an outsider. Such humble upbringings. Such a humble guy. Here are Mark and Diana Carney with Ghislaine Maxwell, the now jailed ex-girlfriend of the late Jeffrey Epstein, who, by the way, did not kill himself. Back in Canada, Carney settled nicely into the insider corporate welfare gig pretty easily. Got multi-million-dollar job as Brookfield and immediately got to work on getting handouts. Here he is with multimillionaire Telesat CEO Dan Goldberg. Don't you ever forget that Telesat gets bazillions of dollars from Canadian taxpayers for producing absolutely nothing. Just empty promises, and they get all that gold. Goldberg, who is a real pro at getting government handouts, like I just said. Last but not least, here is Carbon Tax Carney getting the Trudeau creep hug from the ultimate insider himself and the man who handpicked Carney to take over after him, Justin, the little potato, now mashed potato, Trudeau. This is from the HOC staffer, House of Commons staffer. Give him a follow. He has great stuff. Don't you ever think that Mark Carney is anything other than an insider, World Economic Forum placed ultra elite globalist with a silver tongue. He knows how to play the game. It's how he got to where he is now. He just talks the talk, walks the walk. He will be and do whatever it takes to get the job done, because that's who he is. That's who he is, and that's where he is at. He's got strings all over the place. Canada has ultra systemic corruption. The only way out of the swamp is with independence. All roads lead to an Alberta independence, provincial independence. I don't care what it looks like. It's got to be built by the people, for the people, we the people. It's time to send all of these typical politicians, these typical people that come out of nowhere, billionaires coming out of nowhere, knowing and thinking that they can say whatever they want, as loud as they want, for as long as they want, and know that you're just going to eat it all up. And then they get your vote, and then the cycle repeats itself. Just stop it. Just stop it already. Let's get independence. Let's talk about independence. Start voting in real people, real outsiders, not insiders saying they're outsiders and people believing it because they're on a talk show. Come on. I will keep you updated with as much as I can when I can. All of you out there, like, share, and take care. Follow me on Substack, Spotify, and YouTube. Take care.